let's talk about our playoff predictions. And then we're going to, have our last prediction be, we're going to sort of preview the 49ers game against the Packers. But I did the liberty of sort of making this list. Hold on, I'm trying to zoom out. There we go. All right. We were dead wrong. All right, let's recap the wild
let's
card
recap
round.
them. Let's recap them. Browns versus Texans. Texans 45, Browns 14. Yeah, I wish I gave the Texans a better chance. I wish I did.
Here's what I think went wrong. So Joe Flacco was like red hot for the Browns, and then they decide to bench him for a week. I feel like Joe Flacco's the caliber of quarterback. You got to just, if he gets hurt, then tough luck, man. There goes your season because like you just couldn't keep him healthy. But like you have to, he had not been playing NFL football, or at least starting NFL football. What did he play for the Jets a little bit this year?
But no, it was only the Browns.
Only the Browns. Oh,
yeah.
I thought they were thinking about bringing him back in, but he didn't play a lot.
He wasn't that good,
and he was hot. And yeah, I think that he kind of cooled off a little bit, threw 2 pick sixes in a row.
Here's my thing with the Browns and Joe Flacco. That was a Cinderella story. Mm-hmm. It was their defense that was carrying them, kind of like the Raiders, but the Browns' defense was better. And that offense was, all of a sudden with Flacco was like, whoa, where is this coming from? And this dude's throwing like bombs to Amari Cooper and stuff. I should have known that the Cinderella story wasn't going to last forever, Whereas the Texans, it was like when Stroud was in there, it was pretty consistent,
Mm-hmm.
I think they did lose to the Panthers. I could be wrong there, but other than that, like when Stroud was playing, it was pretty consistent. That offense was killing it. Their team had a certain vibe to them, and they finished the season strong and they win their division. They win a playoff game against the Browns. Good for them. They didn't just win them; they killed them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I wish I gave the Texans a better chance. I should have thought about it more, but that's always hindsight 2020. So,
yeah. So I thought the Browns defense was going to be able to carry in that game, but CJ Stroud just went off, and what a story CJ Stroud has been, like going from being kind of written off by these teams because of or at least written off by fans, not by teams, because he was the second overall pick. So like, what am I talking about? But written off by fans because he couldn't pass that one test, or like, did pretty poorly on that one, football IQ test or whatever the S2 test is. And, he's like, screw the test. I can play football. Like, I know football. And he's so talented. And that was your guy. And you showed me the highlights and we knew, but you knew, Mike, that was your guy. So
yeah, I was very in on Stroud, and I hope that the Raiders can get a quarterback like him.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs 26, Dolphins 7.
Yeah,
another beating.
Yeah, the Dolphins.
We both saw it coming.
Sorry, Tua melted down. He looked bad, and I think the Dolphins. There's sort of speculation or rumors that they're kind of like all in on bringing Tua back. If it's going to cost a lot, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know if he's an upcoming free agent this year, but probably relatively soon. But either way, they'll have to decide on his first year or fifth year option. And obviously, eventually an extension. So, yeah, that'll be tough.
Let me look at his contract. If that page will load up. While it loads up, we'll talk about the Cowboy game. No, hold on. I got it here. Tua, the last year that's under contract is 2024. So I'm assuming that means this.
That means upcoming season. But then that means this offseason they get to decide on the fifth year option.
Well,
because he was a first round pick. They have to decide the year before. So this offseason, they have to decide on the fifth year option, or else after next season, he becomes a free agent.
Wouldn't this year be the 5th-year option?
1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, well, it does look like it because that's 23 million, and all the rest of it has been around 1 million.
Yeah.
Well, base salary, but yeah, that it kind of does.
And then unrestricted free agent in 2025.
Right. Well, they also have the franchise tag. So
yeah, they could do that, but doesn't that ensure that like you get paid top end money for that position?
yeah, that'd be tough. He'd be a top 5
Yeah.
paid player at the position. So for 1 year,
Yeah,
though.
so that's not even worth it either. So
yeah, but also look at the Giants with Daniel Jones. Like they royally fucked up because they gave him a 4-year deal instead of just giving him a franchise tag.
Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out. Now we've got the Cowboys. They crapped the bed in front of the entire world. And, well,
Packers
I don't know.
48, Cowboys 32. And that 32 was garbage time.
It was
The
a lot
Packers
of garbage.
outright destroyed the Cowboys. And we're going to get to the Packers-Niners game. But, at some point, this is why I mentioned to you that I wanted to do the topic, but we were right in not doing it because we've spent a lot of time on this pod. But at some point in the offseason, after the playoffs and after the Super Bowl, we probably plan on doing a topic in which we'll probably give our top 5 current coaches in the NFL. And I think especially after this game, but even before this game, Matt LaFleur is going to be on my list.
Top 5 favorite or top 5 best?
Top 5 best. He's one of the top 5 best coaches in the league right now.
Okay.
Bar none.
That'll be. I feel like we should do both if we have the time in the off season to do that. I feel like that would be fun. So let's see. Lions beat the Rams, like we said. It was a close game. The Bills beat the Steelers. That was not a close game, and the Buccaneers also in a not close game fashion destroyed the Eagles. The Eagles, man, they just crashed and burned and never got back up. The Niners knocked them out in that blowout, and they never got back up.
We started this pod when the Eagles game was still ongoing, but Jason Kelce was crying at the end of the game on the sideline, probably because he's retiring, and that's the way he went out. He never got to win it. Or, well, he did win a Super Bowl. He won
a Super Bowl.
He did, but these past 2 years he got so close. It felt like they were getting it so right, and then lose to the Chiefs and then crash and burn this season.
Well, if he's that emotional, then don't retire.
Yeah, but I will say, unfortunately, that Bills-Steelers game was not as close as the final score says, 31-17. At one point, it was 24-17. Steelers could have scored another touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a tie game going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. So that's been the Bills this season, is keeping letting the opposition kind of stay in it. And then the Lions and Rams game, 24-23 Lions. Hell of a game. Oh,
what the hell?
So,
why does it look so small? Oh, I think that's better. All right. Let's go ahead and do our predictions for all these games except for the Niner one. We'll save the Niner one for last so we can talk about it and then get out of here. So we've got the Texans at the Ravens. Can you verify these to make sure that I've got the right ones? Because I made this before all the ones were set in stone, but I tried to
I'm verifying right now. I don't need to look. I know they're right.
Okay.
It's the 1 versus the lowest seeds. So, yeah.
Okay.
2s versus 3s.
Texans at Ravens. Who you got, Mike?
I have to pick the Ravens. And I got to give myself a pat on the back on the that Packers-Cowboys game, by the way, because I did say that the Packers are going to make it close. I meant but the Cowboys would win. I should have. I guess I had it reversed. The Cowboys are going to try to keep it close, but really, the Packers are going to win that thing. But I don't think anybody was giving the Packers a chance.
I was so sure that the Cowboys were just going to dog the Packers, and it was going to be like, I didn't think the Packers were that good, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So you've got the Ravens. Man, this is going to be a tough one. I feel like Stroud is playing so good right now, but I don't know if I can bet against the Ravens. I'm also going to take the Ravens.
Yeah,
in Baltimore.
Like, I will give it to the Texans. I think it will be closer than people expect, but I think the Ravens pull it out because they are that team.
Yeah, but are the Ravens going to be rusty?
Are the Niners going to be rusty?
Hey, you shut your mouth. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, dude. All right, so the Lions against the Rams. I was like literally thinking about this, dude. So obviously, I've got the Niners going all the way to the Super Bowl at least. Man, I would not be shocked if it's the Lions in the Super Bowl. There's something magical about this Lions team this year. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, I intend to root for the Niners if they get to the Super Bowl. But if the Lions do what I think they're going to do this week, I'm not going to be rooting for you next week. No offense. Because I'm a Lions fucking... I'm all in on this Lions team with Dan Campbell. I love what they're doing. And seeing their fans literally crying because they finally won a playoff game after, was it 32 years since 1992? It's ridiculous. Their fans deserve it. Yeah.
If it's Lions Niners NFC Championship game, I might go. I might just have to go because this might be my I'm a huge Eminem fan. This might be the only opportunity that I get to ever be in the same vicinity as him. Because he would probably go. I would have to imagine if the Lions are in the NFC Championship game that he would go wherever it is.
Right.
Yeah. Not that I would see him, but I'd just be like, yeah, I was there.
I was breathing the same air as him.
I paid $500 per ticket to breathe the same air as Eminem. Yeah. No. All right. So we've both got the Lions there. Chiefs at Bills. Who you got, Mike? Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I am going to take the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills because I don't think that the Chiefs are as good as they were. They're going to be playing in the road and probably in the snow. And I don't know, man. I feel like both teams are a shell of what they used to be in years past. So I don't know. I don't think it's really going to be that great of a game, really. They're going to like prop it up as like Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes once again. But it's going to be like, I don't know, both offenses might struggle a little bit, I feel like. Unless it's just going to be another shootout. That would be exciting. But, like, I don't know. I will probably take the Bills this time because I feel like they've been kind of on the up and up a little bit more than the Chiefs have.
My dream Super Bowl is Bills-Eagles. Bills. That was my Super Bowl pick in the beginning of the season, but Bills-Lions is my dream Super Bowl, other than Raiders-Lions, But two teams that have not won a Super Bowl, maybe better yet would be Texans-Lions, two teams that have never been to the Super Bowl, And I want to pick the Bills so bad here. I'm picking the Chiefs.
You're picking the Chiefs?
I'm picking the Chiefs. I think their defense is going to be the difference. And I think L'Jarius Sneed is going to not shut down Stephon Diggs, but make his night very hard. And I think that the Bills won't be able to run so well on the Chiefs. And I think it won't be a shootout. It'll be like a crawl out, it's going to be lower scoring than you would think, but the Chiefs are going to be efficient enough for once. Now that it's finally time, right? They're going to be the team that's efficient, whereas the Bills are going to fuck up in this game. That's my gut. I want the Bills to win. I do. Just like me picking the Cowboys, but I wanted the Packers to win. I mean, I picked up Chiefs last week. I wanted the Dolphins to win. I want the Bills to win, but my gut tells me the Chiefs are going to win this game.
I think I'm going Bills. Yeah, Josh Allen to me is the difference maker. And I know Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, a better quarterback than Josh Allen, but I think Josh Allen is still playing very well. He didn't turn the ball over, and maybe he's due to turn the ball over. Yeah, I don't know. The Chiefs have been weird, and maybe they're clicking at the right time because they did play very well against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my pick will change. Give me a couple days to sit on it, but if I change it, I'll let you know. Obviously, before kickoff or actually before the first possession.
Yeah.
Or first touchdown, I guess. Right. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first. So we've got the Packers at 49ers. Let me go ahead and change the ticker to have it to be 49ers versus Packers. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about this. The 49ers, it feels like a while since they played. Does it not?
It feels like it's been an extra week.
I don't know. All right. They didn't play this week, but also Brock Purdy didn't play last week too. Like that game was kind of a preseason game, right? The Packers have been playing.
Yeah.
So the rust is not going to be in the same sentence, with the Packers, right? If anything, the Packers are just a young team and they're inexperienced to go against a team like the 49ers. But what makes it interesting, I think, is that the way that they took care of the Cowboys is they really exploited, the run defense of the Cowboys, I feel like first, and then also, I mean, really it was just the whole defense of the Cowboys that couldn't hang with Jordan Love and the Packers, but like there were huge lanes to run the football. Aaron Jones was able to, Aaron Jones was running angry too. Jordan Love is looking like he is going to be the long-term quarterback, or at least, a couple years, for the Packers. He's looking really good and has been going off, the whole rest of the season. I know they didn't start off very well. So, I want to apologize to the Packers for me underestimating them last week against the Cowboys. The thing is, the 49ers are going to be well rested in this game. I think that, the Niners were getting a couple guys who were like a little banged up as the season was ending. Could it be that the Packers are catching the Niners at the right time? Who knows? Like, I don't know what McCaffrey's calf is, is looking like right now because. Go ahead.
Well, I think I got delayed there, but I think it could be that the Niners catch the Packers at the wrong time.
Why?
I think, well, you mentioned, the Niners, essentially their starters haven't played in 2 weeks. So the plus for the Niners is, they're going to be healthy. Well, the negative is, are they going to be rusty? I don't think so. Maybe the one person that I'm concerned about is Purdy, but it's going to be at home. I think that'll play into the Niners' favor. But you have a Packers team who had their backs against the wall the past 2 weeks, and they have done nothing but get hot.
My AirPods died and I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you try talking?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. 1 second. Audio. All right, there we go. I think I got you back. And I'm going to turn down my mic so it's. Yeah. Is there an echo?
Yeah.
All right, let me turn down this. All right, how about now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Is there an echo?
Slight echo. Yeah. Okay. Mute your mic and let me talk for a little bit. And then when you start talking, I won't talk. So you have the Packers who had their backs against the wall the past 2 weeks, if not longer. And all they've done is, do what they need to do. And in that process, get hotter and hotter. So they're going to be coming into this week hot, but probably, at least probably, not as healthy as the Niners. Whereas the Niners should be healthier, but the worry is, will they be rusty? And like I said, I think them being at home plays in their favor. But I think what I saw from this Packers team this past weekend against the Cowboys was, you mentioned they created big running lanes for Aaron Jones. I don't know if that's going to be a thing against the Niners, but what I think can be a thing is Jordan Love and those Packers receivers, having some success. And I did notice that the Packers converted a lot of third downs through Jordan Love to especially Romeo Doubs, but other receivers as well. I think that's the big concern for me is the pass defense for the Niners, other than Charvarius Ward, It really comes down to I think the Niners defensive line and how much the defense can create turnovers and how much they can stop the run, or I guess maybe the better term would be how much do they give up in the run game with Aaron Jones, I don't expect Aaron Jones to run for 110 yards like he did on the Cowboys, but can Jordan Love put the team on his back like he did early on in that Packers game against the Cowboys, convert the third downs, find the open receiver, and the main thing I said earlier, Matt LaFleur, to me, probably a top 5 coach in this league. As far as scheming and play calling, he's killing it, and he is on fire right now. And he has a history with Kyle Shanahan. Can that be something that, affects this game, as far as scheming goes?
Yeah, this Packers team has come a long way from the beginning of the season to now. Like we were several weeks ago, we were laughing at Matt LaFleur because he was emotional on prime time, and I was laughing at like his answer to a reporter when they're like, I feel like the question was something along the lines of, what went wrong in the game, and he goes, we sucked, Pete. If I would have known, it wouldn't have happened. And I don't know why that. I feel like nobody else probably finds that funny, but I just do. It was like, like I said it before. It's a little thing that kind of gets me. I do want to address. You said that you don't think that the Packers are going to be able to get running, like the big holes that they got against the Cowboys. It is a concern of mine if Eric Armstead is not able to play. Is Eric Armstead going to be able to suit up and play in this game? He is vital to this team's run defense. And I want to pull up this comment right here from my cousin Gabriel. I'm going to modify his question a little bit because I still think that, maybe he doesn't pay full attention to football. And he says, if you guys had to decide a plan for the Super Bowl, what would it be and why would it be effective? I'm going to gear the question catered towards this game and not the Super Bowl. So if I had to construct a plan for this game for the 49ers to take down the Packers, this is how I would do it. I think that you have to stop the run first. I think that you have to sell out to keep Aaron Jones not, completely running through the middle of the defense, because then you're going to be vulnerable in that for the whole rest of the game. And then that just opens up the passing game because you're going to sell out more later on if they're killing you there. You want to stop that early, and on offense, you need to score early. The 49ers play so much better and so much differently when they're ahead. I think the 49ers cannot afford to get down against this team because they can run the football. The Niners they don't really get desperate when they're down, but it feels like this season when the 49ers are down, they struggle to get back into games that they're like the Ravens game, right? The Niners got down and then they were like, they didn't get back into the game until it was garbage time and Sam Darnold was like, playing, and they didn't put Purdy back in. I would say the Packers have a good set of receivers. Like they don't have maybe a Devontae Adams guy anymore, but they do have a good group. They've got Dontavian Wicks. They've got Romeo Dobbs. Is Christian Watson healthy?
Yeah, he was in the Cowboy game.
They've got Jaden Reed.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you got a couple tight ends too.
Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, and Tucker Kraft.
Yeah. I mean, the Packers have weapons. Like they are not a team full of superstars, but they are a team that can go toe to toe with any team any given Sunday. But I do feel like they are still young and are missing pieces to be a Super Bowl contender. So I wouldn't put them in the Super Bowl contender category. I think the 49ers, they know what's at stake. If the how are we feeling about the Packers if they pull off this upset? Like,
they might be the hottest team in football.
Yeah. But
them or the Ravens.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and give my pick first. I'm going to pick the 49ers. I think the 49ers will win because I think they'll have fresh legs under them. And I just think about this season when Brock Purdy came back, after tearing his UCL, and he came back. And in that preseason, in that preseason game, after I think our show the following week, I was like, I have no doubt that if Brock Purdy plays like this, the 49ers are going to, win the Super Bowl. Like, he did not miss a step, and he came with urgency. I think we're going to see Purdy with like a sense of urgency, commanding the offense, getting it done. So give me the 49ers in that regard. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey is going to be good to go, but if not, I have faith in Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell. I think that they are also two very good running backs that, I would almost take Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell over Aaron Jones. I think age has to do with it.
Yeah, I get that, but when Aaron Jones is cooking, he's cooking. Apparently he does that all the time at AT&T Stadium. But I think my last thing for this game, I think the Packers offense might be enough to beat the Packers or beat the Niners. But I don't think the Packers defense is experienced enough to actually take on this Niners offense and hold them down like they were able to against the Cowboys, because the Niners offense is way more volatile and, top heavy than the Cowboys is. It's like the Cowboys, it's Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and not in that order, Whereas with the Niners, it's Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trent Williams. I just named at least 4 all-pros, That's going to be tough for the Packers defense. I'm going to pick the Niners, but I'm going to say the same thing that I said last week about the Cowboys game. Don't be surprised when this is a close game.
Yeah, I think it might be a close game unless the 40 that's tough, man. That's really tough because
you brought something up. Sorry.
This game could absolutely be one-sided either way. That's just how 49er games have kind of been, this year.
Yeah. It's going to be one of 3 things, which I guess all games are like this, but it's either going to be really close and one of these teams separates themselves at the end, probably the Niners, or it's going to be a blowout from the start for the Niners, or it's going to be a blowout from the start, just like the Cowboy game last week where the Packers just get hot. They go up 14, 17, 21-0, and the Niners don't have a chance to come back because they never have under Kyle Shanahan.
Here's where I think it will be a different game from the Dallas game. I don't foresee Purdy throwing the interceptions like completely got Dallas out of the game like Prescott did. I don't, unless Purdy has a meltdown, and then we're talking about bigger problems. Right? Are you still there, Mike? You kind of froze there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Because we're nearing the end of the show anyway. Gabriel said he meant for this game. He got it mixed up because he says he was catching up on homework and watching at the same time. So we appreciate you for tuning in. Mike, you're back. All good. Yeah, so it's really just a matter of the 49ers not overlooking the Packers. If they are serious, it's really in the 49ers' hands. If they're serious enough to win this game, they are better than the Packers. It's not even a question. It's just a matter of who is going to be hungrier and wants it more. Or are the 49ers going to, overlook this game and be like, sort of be of the perspective, we're the 1 seed, they're the final, they're the last seed in the division. We just need to coast and get to the Super Bowl healthy. If you have that mindset, you are going to be upset. You are going to get upset by a team like the Packers. But I don't foresee that. I think that there's a sense of urgency to get it done now, win the Super Bowl now. Because if it's not now, then when is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think right now, I probably should give the Buccaneers a better chance than I'm giving them, in the Lions game. But I just can't help but think that the Super Bowl for the team that's going to come out of the NFC is going to be one of 3 teams: Niners, Lions, or Packers. That's the way I see it. Not because I think the Lions are guaranteed to beat the Bucs, but I don't see the Bucs beating anybody in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the Lions get there.
The Bucs are just barely above 900. Not 900. They're barely above 500. They're 9-8. They beat a team that was doing worse than they are right now. Could they upset the Lions? Yeah. The Lions have dropped, inexcusable games this year too, where, well, maybe not inexcusable. I don't think that they lost to the Vikings at any point this year, but they did lose to the Packers. And at the time it looked inexcusable.
Yeah.
But the Packers turned out they're a pretty good team. Jordan Love's a pretty damn good quarterback.
That Packers game has massive effects on the season because if you gave that to the Lions might end up being the 1 seed, and the Packers probably don't make the playoffs. So it might be right now. What might be is Cowboys at Niners, Buccaneers at Lions, all because the Lions made the 1 seed.
You hear that, Jared Goff? This is your fault. No, I do sleep a little bit better at night knowing that we won't have to see laugh now, cry later this year.
You won't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't have to worry about the because it's not that the Cowboys would scare me. It's that they had been playing, I think, good football, and they're a different team than the 49ers saw earlier in the season. But
yeah.
I mean, would I rather face the Cowboys? Well, sure. Hindsight 2020, since the Packers dismantled the Cowboys, yeah, give me the Cowboys. But
right.
I don't know. It'll be very interesting. The game is going to be on Saturday night, and it is hopefully going to be one-sided, so I don't have to worry. But with that, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I know it was a very long show today. Hope everybody has a great night. And I know I said last time that these shows would be a little bit longer on the 49ers side of things, but then I started to think about it a little bit more. Head coaching hirings only happen once every so often. Like it is such a big deal. Like it has a lasting impact on franchises. And I mean, really, I didn't think about it as like, I don't think about it in a way of like, oh, the show's going to be 70% Raiders, 70% Niners. You know, like I don't think about it that way. I think about like just having a good conversation over the duration of the show. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And you know, Mike, you have anything you want to say before we leave?
I can't wait for you to read Tyler's text in the group chat right now, but I'm not on the air.
Read it while we're on here?
No, don't. But I just think for the Niners' sake, they just need to take care of business at home. That's the nice thing about being the 1 seed, you know. I mean, this is just my final thoughts, but
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, all they have to do is take care of business at home. They're getting the 7th seed. They're getting what should be a gift, but again, the Packers look like a hot team right now. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and then we'll see if it's Lions or Buccaneers versus Niners or somehow the Packers.
Mm-hmm. I think Purdy's going to come out with a lot of adrenaline. So, I think he'll be, rushing to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be like a high energy performance from the entire 49ers offense. So,
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.